Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Pastor Brad from New Covenant United Church of Christ in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And this is this week's edition of Children's Story Time. This week's edition of Children's Story Time is for Transfiguration Sunday. The last Sunday of the Epiphany season. We start Lent next Wednesday. And so this Sunday is Transfiguration Sunday. It's the story, and we'll read it from Luke's Gospel, chapter 9, verses 28 to the first half of verse 43. The story of Jesus up on the mountain where his image changes. He becomes glowing. His divine identity is revealed to the disciples as they hear God say, "This is my son, listen to him." This Sunday is also Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel's birthday. And so this Sunday that is closest to Dr. Seuss's birthday, this happens to be on Theodore Geisel's birthday. We always do Children's Story Sunday. And in lieu of a message for all ages, and in lieu of a traditional sermon, what I do is I read a children's story, oftentimes a Dr. Seuss story, but read a children's story and relate it, tie it to the text that we have for the day. And this Sunday, I'm going to be reading the Dr. Seuss story, Yertle the Turtle. I'm getting it from my local library. Gonna read the Dr. Seuss story, Yertle the Turtle. In the story, we read about a turtle named Yertle, and Yertle is the king of the pond, located on a faraway island known as Salamasand. And the turtles there swim in the pond. They're happy. But Yertle is dissatisfied with the stone that he sits on as a throne. It's too small. He can't see the whole pond. And so he commands the other turtles to sack themselves on top of each other so that he can sit on top of them and see farther and expand his kingdom. And each time another turtle stacks itself on top of the other turtles and he gets higher, he marvels at the area, the territory that he rules. However, these turtles being stacked on top of each other, it's very painful. A turtle named Mac is at the bottom of the pile, and he is bearing the brunt of the suffering. Mac asks Yertle for a respite, but Yertle just tells him, "Be quiet." Yertle decides to further expand his kingdom and commands more and more turtles to add to his throne as he rises above everything to see his vast kingdom. Mac makes a second request for a break because of the increased weight that is now causing him extreme pain and hunger to the turtles at the bottom of the pyre. And again, Yertle tells Mac, "Be quiet." Yertle then notices the moon rising above him as the night approaches. Furious, he decides to call even more turtles in an attempt to rise above the moon. But before he can give this command, Mac decides that he's had enough. He burps. It shakes up the whole pile, tosses the turtle king and all the turtles stacked on top of each other into the water, leaving Yertle, the king turtle, in the mud and allowing the others to once again swim free as turtles and all living creatures should be. In the story, Yertle desires to expand his kingdom. He's greedy, he's selfish, he's full of himself. His only concern for others is how they can serve him. He takes advantage of them. He doesn't care about their suffering or their dignity or their humiliation. And in the end, it all comes tumbling down. because things like greed, selfishness, pride are not things that we can build a foundation on. In our lesson this morning, Jesus and his disciples go for a hike on a mountain, and they hear God say, "This is my son, listen to him." God says, listen to what Jesus has to say. It is the values and the principles that Jesus teaches: sharing, caring for others, humbleness, generosity, sacrifice. These are the things that build a strong, solid foundation. So let us listen to Jesus and build a strong, solid foundation on his teachings rather than on the ways of the world like Yertle did. May it be so. Thanks be to God. Amen. I hope you enjoyed the story. I do invite you, go to your local library. If you don't have the book Yertle the turtle in your library at home, go to your local library. Check out the book Yertle the turtle. Read the story and see how the things that Yertle does, which follow many of the ways of the world, are opposite from the things that Jesus teaches us, the things that we should be listening to. So invite you to read the story Yertle the turtle this week. Thank you so very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed our time together as much as I have. Hope to see you next week and every other week after that. Peace, blessings, love, and prayers, everybody. Bye-bye.